I could be wrong. If you've been waiting on the edge of your seat for the last 2 years for the next 26th episode of Intro Avenue, here it is. Seek help. Hello and welcome back
to Intro Avenue.
And today we're going to be talking about ghosts.
Oh my god.
Creepy crawlies and the supernatural experiences that people have when you talk to them and ask them if they've ever seen a ghost. Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. But before we kind of jump into that, we're back.
It's been 2 years. I don't know who knows, who doesn't know, but we were 2 years.
For the people sitting on the edge of their seat for the last 2 years, we're back.
This is for you, specifically.
Jesus has walked on water, called 911. I don't know. Started freaking out. They hit the Pentagon. You gotta wake up, please!
Lyle, turn on the TV! They hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon! You on about? Wait, that's... What are you fucking on about?
I was just
What they hit the Pentagon! That's kind of foul. I don't think you can see
It's a meme. I was memeing. It was fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I've just been memeing the last 2 years.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I grew a little bit more facial hair.
I had a baby. That's my only update.
Yeah,
that's my only update. I had a baby.
That's congratulations.
Literally.
Yeah, he recently had a birthday.
Yeah, he just turned 1.
That's cool.
Like last month. Yeah. Honestly, researching this episode, I started asking a lot of people if they believe in ghosts and if they have ghost story. Everyone has a fucking ghost story. So everyone has a fucking ghost. I didn't meet the majority of people believe in ghosts that I would talk to. Very few people were telling me anything contrary to contrary. Yeah, contrary to that.
Yeah, I don't have as active a social life.
You have VR.
Yeah, but I've talked to friends before about ghosts and stuff, and I kind of have because I grew up and I was very I didn't experience anything like that. I didn't I've said it before, is I grew up in a really Newtonian experience of the world. Is I could look at pretty basic physics, and if I understood that, I understood the entire universe.
Newtonian as in Newton. Yeah.
Gravity, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Ghosts don't really fall under Newtonian law.
Yeah.
They kind of operate
I think that's really interesting because I grew up hyper, at least they were trying to make me hyper religious, and that is fully that that is fully open to otherworldly things. Mm-hmm. And things that
demons and devils, and evil.
I grew up getting told that was something that people think, or that there's that they think that it was this is reality. Mm-hmm. And these are demons and they're always trying to get you. It's the vibe that they were trying to but that wasn't a religious aspect when I was a kid.
Yeah, they got to keep you scared. You got to keep the fear of God or the fear of the devil, one of the two. Something to get you acting right.
Yeah, my sister one time said that whatever are fearful people of God, and she said it in a she thought it was a good thing that they were fearful of God.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Ghost. What do you define as a ghost? Because I came up with 2 definitions of what I think a ghost is.
Yeah, I think ghost is almost an umbrella term, UFO. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. I don't know.
I saw a shadow in my eye, and it moved, and it's and it's I felt this cold presence, and it's and the cabinets were slamming, and it's everybody, all 3 of these people might describe each of those things as their ghost story.
Yeah.
But if you kind of research the stuff, then you got all types of different nerds. That's that's a poltergeist, that's a this, that's a that, that's a this.
For me, I categorize it in 2 things, right? And a ghost to me is a dead person is a person who died, and they're whatever limbo, whatever the fuck. I don't believe in that either. Yeah. But that's what I think a ghost is. And then I was researching it, like people were saying like entities, you know what I mean? And like that would be different than like that was never human, hypothetically, like that was never like, that's a separate category of like things. And I think that's what like, I mainly think if it is real, it's like that kind of thing. I don't think I believe in,
like human spirits trapped.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
unless the afterlife is a lot more
crowded.
Conscious, yeah, crowded. Like than I anticipated, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah. When I think of ghosts, I think of like, you know, they're like this energy, you know, and I always get so foofy talking about energy, like so hippie. But like as I really do think of like this energy, and it's like if you have like a house and you even hear people who talk about ghosts, this house has a negative energy. And it's like, well, now if you believe that this house has a negative energy, then like, you know, there's like a placebo a little bit. Yeah. It's like when you walk into a place that you've had a bad experience, you feel worse.
But not only that, I think that like, I feel like if you're directing energy towards something like through thought, because I think thoughts have energy, right?
Yeah.
If you're like directing energy to this house because bad shit happened there, and then other people,
and you're thinking about it,
so you're sending it. Yeah,
there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like enough things could happen, or enough people could think it, and it would make the house literally feel weird.
Like condenses, because all that. Because if thoughts have energy, then that energy is going all to that house.
Yeah.
Multiplied by 100, 200, 1,000. The internet sometimes
makes it 1 million
house. People.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like the Exorcist house, like specifically, like, you know what I mean?
Like how many people think that house is haunted?
Yeah.
Like believe that house is haunted. And does that belief like add to it? And then because it's now like actually haunted with like the belief, then real things start to happen.
I think that's an egregore.
That, like egregore. Kind of reinforces it, creates this positive feedback loop. Egregores
or something like that. It's that literally that. It's like people, the idea of it like if enough it's like a theory, but if like enough people believe this like thing, let's say like this microphone is.
I think that's what I was thinking of, like a tulpa. But there might be different names for the same thing.
Yeah, probably. But it's just that.
You should ask ChatGPT what like the egregore is, because I was asking what a tulpa was, and I spelled it TALPA, and that is not how you spell it. It's TULPA, and ChatGPT really hooked me up. But while you're doing that, I can talk about like a tulpa, and apparently it comes from like mystic Buddhism, like it's Buddhist mysticism.
Tulpa spelled what?
TULP. No, you don't do my thing. Do your thing.
Oh yeah.
I know my thing. So and it was like it's like this Buddhist mysticism, and you're supposed to like create. It's basically an imaginary friend. Like to dumb it down is like, but an imaginary friend in so much detail that it is like a person, like almost like, you know, original character.
Oh, see.
In your head, but like. It doesn't even have to be an original character. I read this book one time, and I can't remember which book. I was trying to dig through before the start of this episode, like my audiobooks, to see which one it was. But he talks about creating his like mental like area to where he can like kind of decompress and talk about things at the end of the day. And he has like advisors in his mind that he's like created that he can talk to. And like kind of have this like mental counsel.
That's making me think of the idea a little bit. But
sure,
sorry.
But like the people he's creating are like Abraham Lincoln.
Just in the sense of like
yeah,
you're thinking
people
about
at a
it.
Table.
Yeah.
But like so, whatever they created. He's like, let me. I would like to be able to talk to Abraham Lincoln about the shit that I'm going through. So let me fucking mentally create Abraham Lincoln in my head and give him like consciousness and interact with him as if he is almost a separate being from myself.
Yeah.
And like that is, I think, pretty close to like the tulpa from Buddhist mysticism. There's apparently a tulpa subreddit which is basically people just making really detailed imaginary friends. I'm sorry, I'm being super insensitive to anybody who may be like in it deep or whatever. But like it is basically like you create this super detailed imaginary friend and then you talk to them and they talk back. You know, and they're like, we're not schizophrenic. And, and it's like...
No, but if you're actively making it so that you can...
Because you created it.
It's not like, oh, I'm hearing things. It's like I made sure to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I have created a space where that...
I made Abe Lincoln in my head.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really interesting, like, way to, like, operate your like thoughts and brain. It's just like, oh, I have like the advice, like what would Jesus do? You know what I mean? But it's like, what would all these like people do?
So you have Jesus, Abe Lincoln, Martin Luther King, and fucking JFK all on a table in your head, and Buddha.
That's interesting that those are the people that came to your mind. But yeah.
Anyway,
you're like, that's who's in here.
So that I think is like the Buddhic mysticism, like tulpa, and if you can kind of expand that from within to push it without, then you can create this entity that has like being, that has essence, that can affect reality, and the more it affects reality, the more people seeing is believing.
Yeah.
You know?
But it does confuse me when people are talking about their accounts and it's like, and it's real and like documented and stuff, and like there's physical injuries that people get when encountering like stuff. You know what I mean? Like that is so weird that like do you think that what do you think happened? Like just like get like a mark, you know what I mean? Like,
well, if a billion people believe there's something in that house that can hurt people.
Yeah. And then you have like, but it's real though. Like you literally have a scratch on your back.
Yeah. Then a billion people's thought condensed into an entity that can really hurt people.
Really hurts people.
Like, and then because it really hurts people, now more people believe that it can really hurt people, which makes it more powerful and more capable of hurting people, which shows people that there's something in there that hurts people. So I don't know, like that's kind of like, I think there's also like that old like, don't give energy to negative things.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't.
Sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like the more I thought about ghosts, I felt like, it's almost like us, because people say like they can, like some people are more in tune or more like can like connect more to like that world or whatever. Empath. But I feel like totally, if I were to be, because even us researching it or like that time that it was like playing something and I just got scared. I just got really, really scared and I like, oh my god, did I just experience something, you know? It's just like I could see myself like slipping into that and then more things happening and like I just feel like maybe you could tune into it or like in like like paradigm shifts, you know what I mean? Like they're like you can move through thought like into different like spaces. I feel like that world with ghosts and stuff is not like necessary. Like I don't have to like focus on it in my like day to day because it feels negative in my head. Like there's like what's the positive in it?
Spirit. So change ghost to spirit maybe.
Okay.
And then there is like as above so below. Like what is the benefit to interacting with like this like esoteric side of reality?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you can think something and that a billion people can think something and it creates that thing and like they think about psycho killers haunting houses, like that's really bad. That's super dangerous. But say 1,000 people think about how to create a bridge across a lake or an ocean or a river, something that like, and they can then use that same thing that created nothing that can hurt something.
Yeah.
That they've then created a physical, real thing that has affected the environment, and that you can measure and modify and blah, blah, blah. And like, I think that we way more often work to realize the good ideas. Like, you're gonna see bridges realized more often than bombs. Hopefully.
I think that's what people talk about when they, like, talk about, like, manifestation and stuff, too. You know what I mean? It's, like, just directing, like, energy to, like, create something.
Well, that's the law of attraction. Is, like...
the vibe you're at is, like, the things that are gonna, like, come to you is that vibe that they're literally vibrating at. That's so odd to me.
So, I try to think of it as your water. And think of water vibrating. The only water that's going to hang out with water that's vibrating is water vibrating at the same level.
Yeah, same frequency.
You're not going to find water violently vibrating hanging out with water that is non-violently vibrating, because violently vibrating water makes water violently vibrate. So you have to, like, you know, chill creates chill.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got on a water tangent.
No, it's energy. It's literally all energy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the process of creating a haunted house or something, right? Mm-hmm. It's like that process could, in a positive way, could probably do good. Yeah.
Probably
but
has done good.
But the actual tapping into the ghost and stuff like that, I feel like is not necessary. That was like the only thing. It's just like what's that feels more negative in my head, because it's like not untouchable, but it's like a lot, because when I looked into it, I started like getting into like with ghosts come like demons and stuff like that too, and it's like as above so below. I feel like if there's demons, there's angels, and like angels confuse me, and like so I focus on the demons, and I'm like it just feels like a little negative.
I think thinking about ghosts makes me think about the power of thought.
Yeah.
And I think that thinking about ghosts kind of puts a negative tint on the power of thought, is like, but like, it's also like the Second Amendment and school shootings. You know what I mean? It's like, if you look at the power of thought through the lens of ghosts, you're like, take away the power of thought from everyone. This is terrible. We're doing terrible things with it. We're creating ghosts that haunt and hurt people. The power of thought is dangerous, and we don't need to engage with it. If you'd think the same thing about maybe guns if you looked at school shootings and only school shootings.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get the.
And then, but like, there is a lot of, you know, revolution were fought with guns, and like, God bless America, bro. That all started with a revolution. So it's like how do you use that super powerful part of like being a human, that like power of thought?
It's crazy. Because I do believe it in a haunted house. Like that energy, that just, it made so much sense when I was like looking it up, that like what can you do other than like that? You know what I mean? It's we are powerful. Like, it is crazy to think about like how much we affect things. So we're constantly just affecting like one another. Like, you know, it's like actively affecting things, like actively thinking about things is like super interesting. And like I feel like goals and like prayer is like what it was making me think for like positive, you know?
Blueprints.
Yeah, I wrote down
plans.
I wrote down like different, but like I wrote down like a fucking like career plan. You know what I mean? And I like folded it, and then I put it in this little teacup, and then I poured candle wax all over the teacup.
Oh, you're doing witchcraft.
And like, but like it's good, but I feel like it's not like witchcraft. It's like everyone's own way of trying to you know what I mean? I guess it is, but it's...
You'd have been burned as a witch. Let me point this out. All right, 1970s Salem. All right, you're writing notes about like what you want your future to look like, and you fucking put it in a fucking bucket, and you pour candle wax over it, and while crying, I guess. I'm just throwing that in there for flavoring.
I did write when I was writing. I probably was like,
yeah, and then the fucking guy kicks your door down. It's like, what are you doing in here? Your cats are over there in the corner. Fucking just chilling, hissing at the guy. These are your familiars, witch.
Oh, I do have cats. Yeah. Oh my god. That's like...
Yeah.
Oh my god. This bitch is powerful. She got two.
You're cooked, bro. You're burned.
But honestly, Okay, but I do think it's everyone's own way of directing that energy, and it felt like doing more than just thinking about it, and like in how people pray. I honestly, like, there's a thing that happened when I went to pick up my kid, and his family is like Native. Mm-hmm. And they had a situation like happening where they really felt the need to like sage everything and sage us and like the car and like whatever. And it was like I was translating it to my mom, like, hey, like, can they sage you and stuff like that? And she was like, why? And I was explaining it to her, and my mom's like, oh, like, she doesn't know anything. She's really like Catholic, you know what I mean? And all she could do and all she could say was like, I'll pray on the same thing, you guys, like, whatever you guys are doing it for, I'll be praying about it. And I feel like it's the same thing. It's just
same
in the same,
but different.
And yeah, in their own ways. And I feel like ghosts are that, like, a little bit, like, you know.
Yeah, religions that. Or
prayer is that, you know what I mean? Like, prayer is just sending energy, is what I think. So, like. And like that's. Manifestation is like trying to like.
Yeah, trying to put yourself in the
frequency,
in the wave that you want to be in, like trying to be like.
I started 75 hard like 2 days ago, and I need to do better, but I think that's a really cool way to like shift where you're at, you know what I mean? Like, that forces you to like be, or you're forcing yourself to like do these things like daily or like whatever, and it's by the end of those days, like, I feel like your vibe will be different.
Yeah, I mean, like, your environment and your choices are really going to be the things that kind of dictate your vibe, I think.
I think mentally, feeling. I can be in the same situation and feel completely differently just because of like the choice. Mental.
That's one.
That's a choice. Yeah, no, totally.
So like, and then your choices can also like lead to infecting your environment. Long term,
totally infecting the environment.
Short term, you don't have a lot of control over your environment, especially like growing up. You don't have a lot of control over your environment, but you do have a lot of choice over like how to react to certain things, and like the power. And that's like, I think that comes from like the power of thought, and it is so powerful that it can create fucking demons that cut your mom while she sleeps in her room in her haunted 100-year-old house. And, like, you can use it to just feel better about yourself.
Yeah. I think it could be life-changing, not even just to, like, feel better about yourself. Like, that's why I wrote down, like, my career kind of thing, because I was like, I feel like this could be life-changing if I, like, genuinely, like...
Yeah, the feel better about yourself is definitely a low bar.
Yeah.
You're,
like, cutting your mom. And you're making yourself feel better.
Well, would you rather a demon be eating your mom or you feel a little nice?
I think that I would rather feel nice.
Yeah, so don't believe in demons that can hurt your mother.
Yeah. But you know what my mom says? My mom...
What's your mama say?
My mama... She told me...
What's your mama tell you?
And it's in her own way again. And I feel like she wouldn't respect it if it was, like, not the way she's thinking about it sometimes. But it's just, like... It's, like... She was like, just put it in God's hands. Like, why worry about it? Like, God's got it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's also like thought.
What do I say? Que sera, sera?
Que sera, sera. Yeah, it's que sera, sera. It's what will be, will be.
And it's white people
it's
a part of human confirmation bias is like probably why it feels so fun to research stuff, because the internet is such a like plethora of information.
Oh yeah.
That like when like every single thing I have ever researched for Intro Avenue has linked back to the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Every single thing.
And
I don't know if
fish are real.
I don't know if other people who would have done the same stuff would have found that connection. Like, I don't know if that's like my like confirmation bias like building in is like, all right, where's the fucking Catholic? Because honestly, at this point, I look for it. At this point, it's like it's like a running gag.
But it's true.
Catholicism, they accept the ideas of ghosts because they have to accept the ideas of demons. And because if there's no ghosts, there's no demons. And if there's no demons, there's possibly no devil. Yeah. And if there's no devil, maybe there's no God.
And totally they believe in limbo. They totally believe in limbo. You can get stuck in, like, you're between hell and heaven. And, like, I got taught that in, like, Catholicism. But it's like, it's not even intent. Yeah, you're looking for it at this point, but it's like ghosts is just ghosts, right? I guess. Yeah. But like the fish aren't real, dude. I was like, how did that lead back to fucking?
I don't even remember.
The Catholic Church. It was something. I mean, maybe we are like we're like trying to.
It probably did, but I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. It's just like I'm waiting for the episode that I can't find it. You know, and it'll stick out like a sore thumb. But yeah, I wasn't expecting, like, because honestly, when I was researching ghosts, I was almost expecting, like, a Sasquatch, like, Bigfoot type kind of research.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like cryptid type
thing.
Where there'd maybe be, like, some, like, really...
Conspiratory.
Maybe, like, really interesting stories, maybe, like, a crazy picture here or there. But, like, in general, it's just, like... this like
a thing that's happening.
Yeah, and like, you know,
almost being creative.
If you haven't personally experienced something that you cannot explain, you almost guaranteed know someone that has experienced something that they cannot explain. And you can these are hopefully people that, like, you can ask, like, bro, no bullshit me. Don't bullshit me right now. Like,
what happened?
And they tell you with, like, the fear of God in their eyes, like, what happened?
Yeah.
And it's like, the human brain is super powerful. It can do, like, I don't know if you've ever had a dream before, but, like, that's all the brain. Like,
isn't that, no, dreams, that could be a whole episode. Dreams are fucked. Like, we just hallucinate for fucking 8 hours or however
so the brain's
long.
Crazy. Brain can do crazy stuff. So to just be like, it is stuff outside of the brain creating this is possibly a jump because we have dreams. But who's to say dreams don't come from somewhere outside
exactly.
of us?
No, sometimes I'd be in dreams and they're like...
Who's to say intrusive thoughts don't come from somewhere outside of us?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think because we talked about in the philosophy episode, we talked about the space of, like, creativity. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe it was meditation. I don't remember. But it was like getting to that place and then, like, oh, you were, like, thinking about something, like, oh, wow, that's, like, really, like... this, like, flow state, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you don't end up doing it. And then someone else does the same fucking idea. You know what I mean? It could have been the same idea, just, like, floating.
Yeah, it's like you had your lightning rod out there and they were in the same storm as you. Yeah. And then, you know, they just... They did it. They just did something with that energy rather than getting struck by lightning. So, like, intrusive
thoughts, I fully do not think they're coming from me. If they were coming from me, I'd be fucked. You know what I mean? But, like...
I have a good get out of jail free card saying that they're not from me.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's also, like... What if you overthink about intrusive thoughts, then they, like, even the power of thought, you know what I mean? Like, they will, like, be like, oh my god, why did I think about, like swerving and, like, killing my whole family? You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, am I like this? And then now you're really thinking about it and really and then it just can spiral, I think. And it's
like videos about this, there was something that one of the, like, priests said about, like, the holy shrug. And I just really liked that. It was like when you have that thought, it's just like,
that's my mom. That's my mom. That's what I was just saying. Because she's like, give it to God. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. God can worry about that for me.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Yeah. And, like, that is a really nice out. When you don't have to worry about the moral implications of the thoughts of, like, your intrusive thoughts.
Oh, yeah. No.
Like, when you're just like, it's no big deal. And you know what's crazy? Is you don't need God to do that. Yeah. Like, you don't need God to not give your intrusive thoughts power. Yeah. You don't need that. Like, I don't
you
can just like a cloud, just watch it pass by, you know, like a gray rain cloud, just be like, well, that's a gray one, crazy. All right, well,
because your thoughts will pass, you know what I mean? Your thoughts will pass. And I think that, like, in the moment you feel like you are your thoughts, you're, like, going through it, but it'll clear. And, like, time is so important.
If you clear your mind and have no thoughts, you're still there.
Yeah.
You're not your thoughts.
I also don't like just saying it like how my mom says it, like, give it to God, or like I do like the holy shrug in the sense of, like, let it pass and like don't worry about it, because something else, but like, yeah, I think God can be a little restrictive when people like talk about it, and I don't love that.
Yeah, I've already probably pissed 100,000 people off, if not more.
100,000 people. I love the ambition.
No, I mean, like, I'm sure I pissed off all of Catholicism. Maybe not all. Like, if
they're a
every
real
Catholic,
then
if every Catholic heard Intro Avenue, I bet half of them would be like, man, fuck this dude.
See, but if you're really Catholic, you shouldn't be passing judgment on that. It should be like, oh, I feel sorry for you, and then you should find God.
But was he baptized? And I'd be like, yeah. They're like, he's cool then.
Literally. Dude, that Family Guy episode where Osama.
Dude, don't stop.
You brought up the Pentagon.
No, that's all. Look, okay. That's super fair. All right, checkmate. You got me.
There's other theories too that are like out there, but that was the one that like that I was leaning towards.
The
like my
condensed consciousness, like a bunch of thought kind of got into a spot.
Or the entities more than ghosts too. If like I am gonna if I am gonna think about it like that, then an entity would be more real in my head than a ghost.
Like demons and angels.
But I also don't. I have a really hard time.
Because what's the implication of demons and angels?
I have a really hard time thinking about angels.
Because if there's demons, maybe there's devils, and if there's devils, maybe there's gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, where because that is like the implication is like because a demon, I think is
like a worker. Like they're being sent
evil
out.
Personified.
Ah.
And like that's a whole other thing. It's like because in a lot of religions they believe in evil.
Yes.
Like a tangible evil.
And dude, okay, not to piss off more religions.
Yeah.
But the amount of stories that have come out of the Latter-day Church, the Mormons.
You can shit on the Mormons all day.
The amount of shit that has come out of just the teachings like going so far left that they're killing their children in like multiple cases. They're killing their children because they're evil or they'll be better dead. You know what I mean? Like is horrifying.
Yeah. That sounds conspiracy.
No,
cite your sources.
Ruby Frankie, that she was a YouTuber. She did 8 Passengers. It got shut down. There's a bunch of like abuse like within it, but it is like so her kid got out, right? He was being like, okay. She had a journal. She had a
story.
Exactly. She had a journal.
You could just tell us where you heard all this from.
Ruby Frankie's case. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ruby Frankie's case.
Yeah, and there's another lady too.
That was like Mormons were killing their kids.
There's another story too. She didn't kill her kids, but I'm sure she would have given the time. Given her more time, she was getting there. Like she hurt them like so bad, like mentally too. Like it's you should look it up on your own time, but it's scary that the belief of like evil too, like you know what I mean, like it is like scary. I mean, sure there's bad. I don't know.
I think I remember you telling me this story. It was this mother was just like thought that her children were evil, so she treated.
She's like
them
no, she's like you're not repentive. You're not being repentive, and
here's the thing: torturing children
is evil.
As someone who does not believe in evil in the way she does, torturing children is evil.
Yeah.
And she took. I don't think that there's very many priests in her whole religion that would have condoned that behavior. That would have condoned that, like, you know, the condemning of the evil in her child like that.
The case gets interesting because the lady that she was abusing her children with, was super high up in the church and like has a history of doing similar things with other families. So that's like why I was, I guess, putting it on like them. You know what I mean? Like, but
so there's one sick lady.
there's not one sick lady, but the church hypes her up. The church is like, you're having issues masturbating, I'm going to send you to this.
Churches are terrible.
Yeah.
Churches are terrible. Churches are terrible. We could literally talk forever about the miserable, terrible fucking things that churches do.
It's comforting to some people, and I do understand that, and it does bring comfort and like community, and some people who don't have community, that's beautiful.
Some people in positions of power do terrible things.
And some people in positions of power do terrible things,
and that's like any position of power. Yeah. You got the federal government, you got Google.
Literally.
You got...
Literally Google is crazy.
Amazon, fucking... Any position of power, you got people abusing it.
Yeah.
It's just what happens. And like it's, I think, a little unfair to place that on like religion solely.
Totally.
Because like any... Like absolute power corrupts absolutely. And like it's just religion is like a super powerful force in history. It's a binding force that connects people across countries and across states and
which is
like,
beautiful.
Across the world, and it's I think it really helped teach the world to read. So love that.
You think if it were not for the religious text that people wouldn't?
I think that it's like two-sided. I think that most people that we cared about during like the Greek times, like Aristotle, Socrates, like most people that we cared about during that time could read and write. And then the Dark Ages.
Socrates never wrote down anything, but yeah.
But he could.
He could.
He could write. He just didn't write a book. It's like I've never written a book, but I can spell.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then there was like the Dark Ages, you know? It was like a couple hundred years of like a really bad fucking time to be like a human being.
Yeah.
Almost nobody knew how to read. Almost nobody knew how to do anything. There was no like real philosophy.
The only thing I heard about that time period is like the fearfulness. Like I don't remember anything about learning about that time period other than the fearfulness.
I think that was probably the time in history that the church had the most control over people. And like it led to one of the worst times in history, and they did it through like control and power, and they were like, you need to listen to me because I have the word of God. And they're like, well, how do you have the word of God? See, it says it right here. Oh, you can't read it? That's crazy.
You know what's crazy is it scares me
I think they
to not teach children cursive because they can't read the legal old documents.
I could be just making.
Huh?
I'm probably just talking out my ass, by the way.
About what?
Everything.
Oh yeah, no. Take everything with like a grain of salt. Like literally, like also not hating on religion.
I love everybody.
Just commenting on church and opinions can change in a heartbeat. Like you know what I mean. So like, just open conversation is all I wanted.
Yeah, form your own opinions.
Like literally, yeah. If you want to associate me with the words I've said, sure, valid. But also, I could not think the same thing in a day. Like, genuinely, completely change my mind in like a day. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Put the stick down.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's really up my ass.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, this is you're beating that horse, man. It's dead already.
Ugh. I just like hearing my own voice. Just kidding.
Really? What would have gave that away? I'm gonna get the Addams Family Burger King hat.
Oh yeah, I think we can close up in a bit, like soon.
Yeah.
It's about that.
But I think I gotta wrap up with the Burger King hat. It's how it is. All right.
What should I do? Wait up.
Do whatever you want. I'm keeping all this in. I mean, I'm even keeping me in the Burger King hat. This is for the special people that make it this far. At this point. But I also think I'm going to have to cut like 10 minutes off the beginning, so it'll probably be a lot shorter than it looks. And then like another like 5 minutes in the middle, so I don't know, it'll come out pretty good.
This is what your hat's making me feel.
What do you like?
This pose.
You like Eminem? Some like
that's an Eminem pose.
Rabbit type
yeah,
shit?
Yeah, just like the what is the scary movie like that they pretend to be Eminem? They're like, it's just right. Look at that. They know.
You gotta stop doing drugs.
Sober October.
All right. In conclusion, think good thoughts. Don't give negative energy. Don't feed the tulpas. Don't feed your friendly neighborhood ghosts.
Actively think about your thoughts. Like, that's where my head is.
Yeah. Make sure that you're thinking of a better world to live in for you and the people you care about.
Yeah.
Don't think of doom and gloom and how the world's going to end all the time.
I think being hopeful is a positive energy.
Grateful. Gratitude's
like, good, but like hopefulness is you don't have it. So it's like, think about a better tomorrow.
You don't have anything to be grateful for?
I have things to be grateful for, but if we're talking about a better tomorrow, then it's like I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Hope is a motherfucker.
Really?
Hope is a motherfucker. Hope's a dirty liar that'll spit you out. I don't trust that bitch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gratitude?
Gratitude's good.
Gratitude's so nice.
Yeah, gratitude's there.
Gratitude's like the floor when you're drunk. You know? It's always there.
Gratitude is great. Honestly, that's... Even therapists like that I've gone to, is like... They start there. Like,
gratitude
what can you be grateful for?
Hope is scary because...
Hope is like expectations
can rob
almost.
you from stuff.
You'll be disappointed.
Hope can keep you just on the edge of a cliff, bro. Just waiting for a gust of wind to take you off the edge. Hope is horrible.
I love that analogy. Yeah. On that note.
Yeah. God bless America.
I'm excited. And
I think this was going to come out all right. What's your favorite thing from Burger King?
Or if you have like a better opinion or an interesting opinion on ghosts and like that topic, I would love to hear.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But also like your favorite thing from Burger King. I would love to know. Mine's the Bacon King. It's pretty good.
I like their ice cream.
All right. Thank you. Peace out. Drink water. Be there.
Thank you.
Intro Avenue.
I think the first thing with the idea was funny. I think you should do like hello, like welcome back.
Hello and welcome back.
Two.
Hello and welcome back.
Is this still going?
I think you should say 2 Intro Avenue.
Okay.
I think
we'll try it out.
Like